Disclaimer. The audio for this episode is not the greatest, but me and Matt did not bomb our butts off for you guys not to see it. Hope you still like it. Won't happen again.
It's going to be explosive this week, folks. Last week we emptied the clip and we reloaded.
There was one in the chamber.
We have got tens of thoughts of ideas to share with you guys.
Yeah, and then we reached out to some friends of the pod and we had them send us some topics that they might want to hear a joke written about. So for the first time, we'll go to our trusty little hat down here and we'll pull a random topic. We know some of them because we both wrote them down when we went through the emails. But send us in more if you want to hear a joke about divorce or food or Taco Bell or whatever you believe.
Man, you just named my whole act.
I always wanted to hear a joke about weather, stuff like that. And we'll try it. So we'll be doing that for the first time, which is a little scary.
A little scary, but...
Right. And you guys can see how the sausage is made. And, so let's just kick it.
We're going to recline back
into
it. We're in creative mode now.
All right. I'll start us off if you don't mind.
What's been tickling you?
So my laundry lately in my building, it's like shared laundry now, and someone keeps fucking doing weird shit in there. I don't know, or just washing dirty clothes. But all my white clothes keep coming out with like weird stains on them. So I've been taking my laundry to the laundromat. What? But I hate doing laundry alone. So I thought it might be fun to be like, hey, so if you're in the audience, maybe you can help me out, I was like, hey, I fucking hate doing laundry. I hate doing laundry alone, especially. Anyone here hate doing laundry alone? You sir, do you hate doing laundry alone?
No.
Man, sure would work a lot better if you said yes.
Yes.
Want to do laundry together on Wednesday?
Yeah.
All right.
Should I have said no?
No, you can say whatever you want. I just think it'd be funny to be like, who here hates doing laundry alone? And then hopefully someone will be like, woo! I'll be like, oh yeah, isn't it the worst? Want to do laundry tomorrow?
That's funny.
Yeah. I got a lot of quarters. I won't give them to you, but you don't have to fiddle with the machine. You can just give them cash. I'll give you the quarters. Not my best stuff. Hate doing laundry. Hate doing laundry alone. Does anyone else hate doing laundry alone? No? Go to the laundry room, yeah? You hate doing it alone? You want to do laundry tomorrow? Sick.
It's funny that we talked before this about how you used to missay things when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
You called it the laundromat.
What is it?
Laundromat.
What?
Laundro.
Laundromat?
Yeah.
No, it's the laundromat. Is that actually not what it's called?
It's it's the laundromat.
Dude, you thought the laundromat was just when
Laundromat
made you do laundry.
That sounds like my mom.
No, your name's Matt.
What my mom said to me. Do your laundry, Matt.
Yeah? Oh. Yeah. When people ask your mom if she does laundry, she'd be like, no, I have a laundry. That's you. Wait, it's laundromat?
Yeah.
Do you know what else I thought? I thought it was the bathroom. I thought it was the laboratory. Laboratory. Or, wait, what?
Lavatory?
Yeah, I thought it was the laboratory, like a scientist.
I mean, who's calling it the lavatory, Ethan? Hello, Miss Johnson. May I use the lavatory?
How do you say it?
I mean, I've never said it. I don't know how to say it.
Well,
wait, that might be funny
we're cooking.
If you said, I thought it was, or something about how you missay laundromat until you moved out here and you realized it's pronounced lavanderia.
Lavanderia, man.
I just see those signs everywhere.
Lavanderia Mateo. Anyway, I also think it'd be funny if I went on stage and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna be up here doing some jokes, and if it pleases the audience, maybe you guys could just let me cook."
If it pleases the audience.
If it's cool with you guys, I'm just gonna be up here cooking.
What's up, guys?
Yo,
We all right?
yeah, woo!
If it's okay, if it pleases the audience, if it's cool with you guys, maybe you could just let me cook. I'm just gonna cook up here, all right?
Anyway, I hate doing laundry alone.
I could be like, what the
I
fuck?
don't know. What do you got?
Oh, what do I got? So I want to do something about the idea of nightmares. I've been trying to come up with a nightmare joke
Okay.
where, like I was talking to my older brother, and he said he has this recurring nightmare that my mom's breast cancer comes back. And I told him, that's crazy. I have the same exact thing, but it's not a nightmare. It's just a normal dream.
Horrible.
Or-
That's so mean.
Or like when I was a kid, whenever I would have a nightmare, I would go sleep in my parents' bed, and then I'd wake up the next morning in my bed, thankful that it was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. So I'm sleeping in their bed with them. Woo!
My cousin crawled into bed with his parents and peed the bed. I would say his name, but maybe I shouldn't.
Talk about
I used to
it.
do a joke about nightmares. I'll slip it in. I used to do a joke where I said, where I would talk about how stupid I think it is that people put dream catchers in the rear view mirror of their car, because like it would obviously suck if you had a nightmare while you fell asleep behind the wheel of your car. And then I'd say, when I was younger, I had a lot of nightmares, and my mom got me a dream catcher. It was super effective. And then when I got a little bit older, she got me, I started to have a lot of sex dreams. So I hung a condom above my bed. I called it my wet dream catcher. It was not as effective. But I did learn that dream catchers and condoms have a lot in common, because they both stop you from having nightmares. Kids are nightmares.
Jesus, that was a chunk. That wasn't just a joke. You just went into a full 5-minute set.
When I was younger, I had a lot of nightmares, and my mom got me a dream catcher, and fuck you guys. And it's super effective. I stopped having nightmares. It was awesome. Then I got a little bit older, started having a lot of sex dreams. So I hung a condom above my bed. And I called it my wet dream catcher. And it was not as effective. But I did learn that dream catchers and condoms have a lot in common, because they both stop you from having nightmares. Kids are nightmares, am I
right? It felt relatable to what we were talking about.
That was very. All right, well, now I got to come back with the pull-ups joke, because it's similar to your dream catcher. It was like when I was a kid, I used to wear pull-ups because I peed the bed all the time. And pull-ups are a lot like pull-ups are a lot like condoms, It's an extra layer of protection. And when when we ran out, my mom would say, let's just risk it tonight. Sometimes gotta laugh.
You, Matt.
I had to wear pull-ups growing up. I wet the bed till I was 14.
Damn.
I was wearing pull-ups at the same age that people my age were wearing condoms. Pull-ups are pretty similar to condoms. Like, you wear it for an extra layer of protection. And if we ran out, my mom would just say, let's just risk it tonight.
Yeah.
That's gross. All right. We're cooking.
I want something to, though, like the other day I had a nightmare that my grandpa died. And then I woke up and I realized it was just a dream, actually. Or something like that.
Oh, you're saying it because it's not a nightmare.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it. Or you were explaining your dream to someone and they're like, sounds like a nightmare. And you're like, oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Just a dream.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
That's might be it.
Yeah,
You just, that was pretty easy for you to figure that one out.
So what would it be? You had a nightmare. I was telling my coworker about a dream I had where my grandpa died, and they're like, "Oh, it sounds like a nightmare." And I was like, "No, just a regular dream for me." Honestly, a dream come true.
Do you have any other nightmares? Oh no, that's
What's a mare? Isn't a mare a horse?
yeah.
Just experimenting with a little wordplay, you know. Oh yeah, I used to have a nightmare. Just one nightmare. What was the horse I rode at night? His name was Timbits, and we did everything together. I actually had a nightmare about my nightmare. Dude, I was at a fifth grade camp where I grew up. We would have a fifth grade camp when you're in fifth grade, and then when you're a senior, you're a counselor for the fifth grade camp. And when I was a counselor, they do a thing where you ride horses, and I remember doing that when I was in fifth grade. But so they bring out a horse, and they're like, oh, if you yank back, it'll stop. If you tug this way, go left. Tug this way, go right. You want to approach the horse like this, so on and so forth. They're showing all the kids what to do with the horse, and while they're doing it, the horse just like rears back on its back legs and goes like, "Hurrah!" and then falls on its back and has a heart attack and dies.
Wait, were you on it?
No one was on it. They were like walking next to it, and then I remember being like really freaked out, but I didn't want to be like, I'm the pussy that doesn't want to get on the horse, you know? So I was like, hey, if any of you guys aren't feeling comfortable getting on the horse, just let me know and I can hang back with you. And thankfully one kid was like, I don't really want to do it. And I was like, oh, darn it. I guess I'll have to hang back with this guy. I was like, I'm not getting on any of these horses.
Talk about beating a dead horse. We're cooking.
Very good.
That doesn't even make sense. But
Very good. What else? We got another one that you were cooking up, or should we go to the audience topics of the week?
well, what do you have cooking up?
I have one that's just a story about something that happened between last episode and this episode because I just went to the Redwood National Forest. I don't think it's funny, but it was kind of a cool thing. Maybe just a cute anecdote.
All right.
We were driving and I was going to see the Golden Gate Bridge for the first time, and I was really excited about it. And my girlfriend was like, "Hey, just so you know, like, don't get your hopes up too much because usually it's covered by fog." And I was like, "What the fuck? What do you mean? Like, I might not see it?" And I was kind of bummed out. And then she was like, "Yeah, there's this fog that's always there. Like the people in San Francisco have a name for it." And I was like, being a dick, and I was like, "Oh, they have a name for it? They have a name for the fog? What is the fog? Is it fucking Carl? Is it Carl the fog?" And she was like, "Wait, are you messing with me?" And I was like, "No." She goes, "Look it up." And I look it up, and it was called Carl.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, Carl the fog. But I feel like no one will believe me that I guessed it. She thinks that it was incepted into my head at some point, and I didn't know that I knew, but
Well, I feel like other people won't know that. So like
Yeah, it's
they'll
real.
put it together with you.
look it up.
Also, Carl the Fog.
Carl
Sounds.
with a K.
I know we kept saying Carl the Fog. Getting close to dangerous territory.
But Carl was not there, and I did get to see it, so that's pretty cool. Pretty legit. Other than that, I was thinking about how on my first date with my girlfriend, as first dates go, the topic of periods got brought up naturally.
Of course.
You gotta see, when you're working. I don't know. I don't remember how it happened or what, but I must have made a dumb joke or something. And then she said, "Oh yeah, I actually sync up with the moon. Like I'm a red witch or something like that." And I was like, "Oh, haha, that's funny," because that's hilarious or whatever. And she was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, the full moon's random. You don't know. You don't know when there'll be a full moon." And she was like, "What?" And then I was like, and like every thought I ever had flooded back into my brain. And I was like, "Oh, obviously, you know when there's a full moon." But I think I was just taking all of my knowledge about full moons from like random TV shows and movies where there's werewolves, because if full moons aren't random, then werewolves are just bad planners.
That do seem pretty poor. It's always like they're wearing regular human clothing and it like rips through it.
Yeah,
It's like you couldn't have worn a baggy t-shirt.
He's like, no, I'm actually going to stay in for the night. It's like, I do need to get some grocery shopping done. I could make it back in time. Those damn lines at Costco. I've never been to Costco.
Also, the werewolf's always in the woods. Like,
Yeah.
But on our first date, somehow the topic of periods got brought up. I don't really remember exactly how it happened, but she goes, "Yeah, I'm a blood witch." And I was like, "What's that?" She was like, "Well, my period, it syncs up with the full moon." And I was like, "Oh, that's funny." And she was like, "Why is that funny?" And I was like, "Well, because full moons are random." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "What?" Like I'm putting the pieces together in my head. I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot, you know? But all my knowledge was just based on movies and TV. And I was like, if people know when full moons are, then werewolves are just bad planners.
that wasn't anything.
Just a fact.
I feel like it's the same with vampires. Like when the sun comes up, they have to be in there.
It's like, yeah, you know the sun's going to come up, so come correct, you know? Plan your day around. I don't know. Don't live in Alaska.
So did she think you were stupid?
She later told me that it was endearing, but she definitely made fun of me to a lot of her friends at first. I've met a few people who were like, "You're the moon guy." That's me.
You're like, wait, they saw me flash my ass cheeks out the window of my car?
I do love the moon.
God damn
You're
it.
just trying to pull a nice little prank out your car window, and next thing you know,
You're the moon guy.
you're turning the guy in the lane next to you into a werewolf. It's a tale as old as time. I don't know. You got any other ones you've been cooking up since last episode?
All right, so my girlfriend sat me down the other day and she said, this isn't working out. I said, what do you mean? She said, Matt, this isn't working out. Every time we come to the gym, you just want to use the sauna. This is not working out. Then she broke up with me for being a lazy piece of shit. So,
Because it's not working out.
it's not working out. So,
I like it.
My girlfriend sat me down the other day. She said, Matt, this isn't working out. I said, what? She said, this isn't working out. Every time we come to the gym, you just use the sauna. This is not working out. And she broke up with me for being a lazy piece of shit.
I can't wait to see you do it tonight. Yeah. Have you written anything where you're like, fuck, I don't want to bring that up on the podcast, then I'll have to do
are you kidding? That's all I write.
it? What did you say? You're going to have to do it. Just so you know.
Okay, so
The people need to see the real deal, you know? They're not all going to be heaters. We write bad jokes sometimes. That's a part of it.
I saw a lot of doctors say that sitting is just as dangerous for your health as smoking. So I bought a standing desk and now I smoke crack off of that. So, and hey, if sitting is the new smoking, is farting the new secondhand smoke?
It's gonna bomb so bad.
Because I've inhaled a lot of secondhand smoke.
I just saw this thing, doctors say that sitting is the new smoking, just as dangerous. So I got a standing desk. Now I smoke crack off of that. So, if sitting's the new smoking, then does that mean that farting is the new secondhand smoke? Instead of having lungs that get black from smoke, your lungs get brown from farts you smell. All right, this is good stuff.
I'm so bad.
Except instead of your lungs being black like a smoker, they're brown from all the poo.
Oh no! All right, so we had all right, we had some of our friends of the pod send us some topics that they might think are good. Most of them are pretty generic. I haven't seen them all. You haven't seen them all. We just pulled a few from the Instagrams and the emails. Please send us topics of stuff that you'd like to hear about. I think I already covered that. But we got a little hat here. A little hat. I'll shake it up. It's full to the brim.
All right, that's a lot of.
That's a hat pun. I've been dying to say it. All right.
Sports. I thought it said farts. I could have gone back to my secondhand smoke bit.
I wish it said farts. Better than sports. What to do with sports? You grew up playing sports? Or you played basketball? We talked about that. Your dad yelled at you.
Screamed.
What did he say to you?
He told me to wake up.
Wake up, bud!
Play harder.
Yeah, we kind of covered sports in the last one. Whatever. That's what the hat foretold. Sports.
You watch sports with your family?
Not really. My dad likes to watch a little bit of soccer. My parents got really into tennis recently. They like Coco Gauff. I watch a good amount of football. So I got, Larry Fitzgerald over there watching down over us. The Tigers are fucking best in the league. Been a while since that happened. Yeah, I don't know.
If you wear like Detroit sports stuff out here in LA, do people stop you and like, what's going on, man?
No, but every time I see someone in the Detroit thing, I want to, but I don't. Buddy.
Every time I wear an Iowa thing, somebody spills their whole goddamn life story to me.
Oh,
They're
really?
like, oh, I graduated in '87 and my mom still lives there and my dad used to hit me and I'm actually going back in the fall and I'm like, this is just a hoodie.
What are we doing here?
Yeah,
Hawkeyes?
the Hawkeyes, yeah.
Hawkeyes. That's where you went to college.
Yeah,
That's pretty good school, right?
not particularly. It's,
No?
I mean, Michigan and Wisconsin, I think, are the big boys in the Big Ten and Northwestern. Like, academically, Iowa is pretty easy to get into. Their writing program, though. Best writing program in the country, huh?
Yeah, it's showing. I'm joking.
And I didn't go to it, but it was there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Played a lot of baseball. I have a, I don't know if it'd be, I don't think I'd ever be able to do it as a joke, but funny thing happened once. We were playing, do you know who Kirk Gibson is?
Yeah.
He's got the famous Gibson hop,
Mhm.
that video. One of my teammates, we were playing Kirk Gibson's son, and it was a doubleheader, so he was on the bench the first game, and a kid on my team hit a fucking bomb to center field, and he goes around first base. Before he hits first base, he points at Kirk Gibson's son and does the Gibson hop. Ball doesn't get over. He gets thrown out at second.
oh,
Pretty legendary move.
that would keep me up at night.
Yeah. So,
Was this kid good?
I don't remember. I know Mario Impemba, who was the announcer for the Tigers at the time, his son hit a home run, like one of the furthest home runs I've ever seen, and it was a wood bat league. He absolutely bombed it. I don't know if he ever became
What's a wood bat? Like anyone that can wood bat?
anything. No. Like a literal wood bat, which isn't that common when you're young. But it was a wood bat league. Felt cool.
What was I gonna? Oh, I used to get hammered in college and run into athletes downtown and like, take pictures with them. And some of them are in the NFL now, so it's cool looking back.
Oh, really?
Like C.J. Beathard, he's a quarterback. in the NFL. He's a backup, but one time on Easter Sunday, the Saturday before, I got hammered and updated my Facebook profile picture to a picture of me and this linebacker at like 12:20 a.m. and I look hammered and my grandma commented on it. It was like, "We sure do miss you for Easter, Matt." I was hammered drunk, but
That's sad.
good times.
It's like, are you clean and sober now?
Yeah, I mean,
Still enjoy the sport? You watch a lot of college football.
yeah, college football, basketball, NBA. No baseball, no hockey.
Okay, so the Pacers, they just won the championship. Or no, the OKC won.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. He went to Iowa State though, so.
I think it's funny the idea of like the janitor of of a sports team who's like the only one that's from that town that is rooting against them winning, so he doesn't have to clean up all the confetti. You know what I mean?
He leaves a little slick spot in there so the star player breaks his knee.
He's just like back there like, fuck, I hope we lose. I don't want to have to clean up all the confetti.
Or maybe he's trying to provide for his family and some OT would really help him.
Oh yeah, wow. I never thought about it like that. Shame on me. Baseball.
Oh, this is kind of interesting, but at the Iowa football stadium, it's like a well-known tradition. At the end of the first quarter, everybody turns and waves to the children's hospital across the street.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's really cool.
I used to try to do a joke about it, how we're waving hi to those kids, but some of them were waving goodbye to them. or just how useless 70,000 people waving is when like if we all put $1 in,
Yeah.
we could pay for like 2 hours of them to stay there. Because medical prices are high. That was the big twist. One of the first trips.
I used to go to a lot of Michigan football games and tailgate. One of my biggest regrets is I could have gone into the stadium for that like famous Michigan State game with the ending with the fumble, but I was too hammered and I met this girl and she couldn't get in because they were doing this weird thing where like you needed a student ID. I don't know, her friend bailed on her and she was like, "You guys seem cool. Can I just hang out with you?" And I was like, "Sure." And then as the night went on, we had a good time. I almost had my first one-night stand with her. We went up on this roof. You could see the big house from the roof. And I just remember I couldn't get it up because I was pretty drunk. And also my knees were bleeding from the shingles on top of the roof. And I'll never forget when I came back down, my friends were like, "So what happened? Like, did you guys do it?" And I was like, "No, my dick's afraid of heights."
I almost had a one-night stand in college one time. I was drinking all day at a Michigan tailgating event, and I met this girl, and we hit it off, and we went up on the roof, and then afterward, I came back down, and my friends were like, "Oh, did you guys do it?" And I was like, "No, I couldn't get it up, because, my dick's afraid of heights."
You were on a house and you could see the big house. What were you on? The bigger
A
house?
bigger house. And my phone fell off the roof. I remember it slid down and just smashed into a million pieces on the ground. Good
That was
times.
it would have been a tough morning the next morning.
Good times. I used to have to deliver stuff to the sports complex. I worked at the Disability Resource Center at warehouse. Where the werewolves live. I worked at the Disability Resource Center, and I remember every once in a while I'd have to take a wheelchair or something to the field house where they practice football because someone got injured or something. And one time they called us and I had to go take them a wheelchair. And there was this path that led from the campus through through the woods to the field house, and it was it could fit one golf cart on the path, and then both sides of it were runoff. They went straight down kind of. And whenever I get the time away from work, smoke as many cigarettes as I possibly could, make it take as long as possible. It was a really boring job. And I remember I got in the wheelchair and I'm smoking a cigarette, and it's really hard to roll a wheelchair, especially if you're going uphill. And also when you have a cigarette in one of your hands. So I'm just huffing and puffing. And I get off it and I walk for a while, and then I get to the trail and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna smoke another cigarette and sit back in the wheelchair. I'm rolling down the trail smoking, and this golf cart comes towards me, and I go to get off to the side to let them pass, and I roll down the thing like 4 to 6 feet, and these guys get out of the golf cart and they're like, "Hey, sorry man, are you good? Like, do you need our help?" And I was embarrassed. I didn't want them to know that like I wasn't like actually needing a wheelchair, so I just go, "I can do it myself." They're like, "Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, of course. You know, you're good." And I was like, "Yeah, all right, thanks." And then they like laughed, and I like wait for them to like turn the corner, and I get up and I run it up the thing back onto the path, and I go deliver it. And then on the way back, they like drive by me. They like do like a crazy double take, like I got cured or something.
You're walking perfectly fine.
I went to Eastern, and I worked at the Disability Resource Center. And when I was there, every once in a while, we'd have to take a wheelchair to like the field house where the football players were if someone got injured, you know. And I was working one day, and I got the call. I needed to go deliver this wheelchair. Obviously, when you're at work and you get an assignment like that or something, a task to do, you want to make it take as long as possible, you know. Smoke as many cigarettes as you can, right? While you're at work. So I get the call and I leave, and I get in the wheelchair. And using a wheelchair is not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of upper body strength that I don't have, especially if you're smoking a cigarette. Just end up going in circles. So I get out of the wheelchair and I push it for a while, and then I get to this. There's a path that cuts through from the campus to the field house. And it's kind of through the woods. And it's a narrow path that can fit like one golf cart, and then on both sides of the path is like a 4 to 6 foot like runoff, you know, just goes straight down. And as I get to the path, I'm like, all right, now there's no one around. I'll smoke some cigarettes. I'll make this take a while. Sit back in the wheelchair, light up a cigarette. I'm rolling. And these guys in a golf cart come my way. So I do the polite thing, and I go over to the side, right? But when I get to the side, I roll down the hill. And the guys get out of the golf cart, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you all right? Like, are you good?" And I was embarrassed, and I didn't want them to know that I didn't need the wheelchair. So I was just like, "I can do it myself!" They're like, "Yeah, of course you can," you know? And they're very nice. And then when I saw them turn the corner, I got up and I ran it back up the hill. And then I dropped it off. On my way back, I see those same guys. They like do a double take and they stare at me. And I didn't know what to say, so I was just like, "You guys cured me." They were like, "All right, what the fuck?"
You guys saved me. So yeah.
Here's the thought I had. You're not supposed to call them disabled. You're supposed to call them differently able now.
Oh yeah.
So my parents didn't disown me. They just differently owned me.
Oh man. Joke baby.
Not even baby. These are just blanks.
Joke, baby. Well, I had a baby. I delivered a baby.
You did. You did a nice newborn.
Well, I don't know if it's nice, but I'm gonna try it. About my penis being afraid of heights.
It's in the ICU, but it's stable.
And then I'll try the ones that I came with too. I think I'm good with those. Definitely not going to do the Carl thing probably, but I'll try the laundry. I still don't believe you that it's laundromat. And why would it not be laundromat?
I think laundry might have come from laundromat. I don't know.
That's
I'm
insane.
trying to sound smart. And I don't
And
know.
then ask them if it's okay if I cook while I'm up there.
And I'll do the nightmares.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you want to try to squeeze a sports thing out?
yeah. I feel like Iowa sports is what keeps me and my dad's relationship.
Okay.
Like if we didn't have football season roll around every fall, I wouldn't hear from him.
Yeah, people call it college football season. I call it talk to my dad season.
He's there.
Or something like that.
Or I've always wanted to do a joke about the idea that it's weird watching. Like my dad gets so into it, but they're like 18-year-old guys.
Mm. And he looks up to him.
Like he'll like cry after big wins.
Oh, really?
I don't
No,
know if
I
he wants-
love the passion.
I mean, and it's weirder the older I'm getting. It does feel weird rooting for
Yeah.
18-year-olds. It's like being a college kid going back and watching a middle school flag football.
Yeah. There is something too, though. Like, I don't know if you've experienced this. I was pretty into like Detroit sports before I moved, but now I feel myself like much more connected. Like it's a piece back home and like something, like you said about your dad, like a reason to like talk to buddies or like, you know, even my parents being like, oh, did Tigers won? Go Tigers or whatever. I feel like, well, it doesn't hurt too that since I've moved, the Lions, the Pistons, and the Tigers are all like having the best seasons ever. Maybe I just needed to leave. You don't think there's something there with the, maybe not, I call it talking to my dad season, but something like that?
Yeah, I used to sort of have something similar to that. I can't remember.
Or like, you know, sometimes girls or like my girlfriend will give me shit when I take an Iowa loss too hard. She thinks that I just care a lot about the team, but I just know that my dad's not going to be nice to me for the whole next week.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
I mean, that is partly true. He grieves over losses. It takes him like a few days.
Yeah, and is there like a difference in like the way he treats you, whether it's a win or loss?
Yeah.
Or you can like exaggerate too.
Or that brings me sort of down the rabbit hole of I've been thinking, because my family only reaches out to me when like something bad happens in LA.
Mm.
It's like the fires, this recent thing with whatever. And so I was thinking the idea that I'm just gonna do something bad just so they talk to me. Like I'm tempted to like drive my car into like a large group of people so it makes the news, and they finally call me. They're like, hey, we heard about what happened in LA. Is everything all right? When are you coming home? 5 to 10 years. When I wrote that 5 to 10 years today, I was. You know what I mean? Like man, I was.
You can reach out to them.
Yeah, that's pretty good logic, actually.
You're trying to play hard to get. You're like, oh man, you know, I don't agree with what's going on with ICE, but I do love how much my parents are checking in on me.
Yeah, yeah. Or back to now I'm going back to the football thing. Like my dad will get excited for like new recruits. Like we just signed a good recruit from the class of 2028. I'm like, that's a 13-year-old kid that you're excited about. You're like, he's looking solid. They put on. Did you hear that Campbell put on 20 pounds of muscle this offseason? I'm like, that's an 18-year-old boy, Dad.
Your dad's like, hey, did you hear the news? And you're like, oh yes, he's gonna wish me a happy birthday. He's like, oh, we signed a new cornerback.
That's good.
And you're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Not a dry Hawkeye in the audience.
Hey! Oh, that was the joke. I was like, college football season's here. My dad gets super into it. He's like, gets too excited for it. He's like, did you see Johnson? He's looking solid, tight. And I'm like, Dad, can you put some pants on? That was my big joke. Yeah, my first year in LA, I was absolutely murdering.
Hey, don't do that. You were murdering. You are murdering. Because you're a murderer. And you guys are going to see when all these jokes get big pops.